I'm going to start my diet on January 1st. I'm going to do this thing on this date. Or you could just start now, today, this very second. Because if not now, when? And the other thing of this, the precious present and the power of now goes back to the morning. If you don't work out in the morning, all you're doing is creating the probability that you are not going to work out in the afternoon because life happens. Mo.
I'm back again.
Mo is back.
Here to do some talking. Okay, I don't have any of the questions, so I guess I'm going in blind.
Yeah,
I'm a listener.
You're gonna vibe out.
I'm a great listener.
You are a great listener.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. The Greg Vetter podcast is back. Mo Taylor at the table. Not in a full cowboy outfit, unfortunately.
I'm going to have to do that one day. This is the second time you said that. I'm going to have to bring that back.
So we're going through my book that has not yet been published. I wrote a book just about the field guide from the first book because so many of the questions that I have received or the comments that I have received have been more specific to how do I do this thing? Love the field guide, very helpful, highlighted it, boom, 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 boom. I have more questions. So I took a lot of those questions and I turned it into a book. We're going to keep it rolling. This field guide section, I get a lot about what's your reading list? Why should I read? That kind of goes back to the previous episode of how do I become my own mentor? I basically said read books.
I remember at Tessemae's, you made it was a the Tessemae's reading list.
Yeah,
and you had to do it. You had to read.
It was required.
Yes, and then we had a meeting on the. You gave us like 2 weeks. God damn.
Well, the reason that started is when Brian first started, my brother. He had not really had a job before, and his perspective of the world was limited. So I said, dude, you got to read this book we were growing so fast. You got to read this in a week. He goes, I'm good for about 2 pages a day. And I was like, you got 7 days to read this whole book. I don't care what you think you're good at. And he banged that book out. He wrote a report on it, and his worldview changed. And so that is really how the Tessemae's library started. Him, but then also me, because I was hell-bent on being a good leader. And so I'm just reading and audiobooks. And back then, I bought the physical discs. Right, I'm like in my 6-disc CD changer because I'm nice like that.
6 discs, yeah. That really opened my eyes. The Tessemae's reading, I was like, God, I gotta read and work.
Yeah,
it was a lot.
It was a lot.
I did it. It was good too. But when I got to the audiobook, like I'm better at audiobooks than I'm at reading. Because I can do, like audiobooks, I can work and listen. And I think when I work, my brain opens up a little bit more and just my work just becomes like free flowing.
Yep.
It's the same thing when I was in math class when I was in school. And the teacher would always tell me, stop drawing and listen.
You're like, I am listening.
Yeah, I am. I listen more deeply when I draw and listen.
There's a guy in my Friday Jesus group, and he just sits there. He brings a whole giant sketch pad, and he just sketches the whole time. He's totally locked in.
Yeah.
He's talking. He's doing his deal. He's sketching the whole time. So
I'd like to see some of those sketches.
Well, I want to have him here. I want to bring him here.
Cool.
So anyway.
Tell him bring a sketchbook.
I will. We should have a sketch off. Now, you'll probably win based on what I've seen, but, you know, I can I can sketch. So this one is just, why should I read? There are no secrets to being a successful entrepreneur. Everything you need to know is available in books. If you're not reading consistently, you should be. Format doesn't matter. Kindle, audiobook, paperback, it's all the same. I did some of my best reading, quote unquote, listening to the CD recordings of great leaders while driving in my car. It was information that made it possible for me to pursue my entrepreneurial dreams. Too many people leave school and stop reading. That is a mistake. The key to success is continuing to expand your knowledge. You can't get in-depth knowledge from short quips on social media. You need books. This is true no matter what kind of student you were back in your school days. Whether you got A's or spent your days staring out the window waiting for the bell, books will give you an edge in the business world. If you want to be great, read books by and about great people. Think about the challenges they encountered and how they faced them. What can you learn from their experiences? How can you incorporate their battle-tested tactics in your own life? Even before I had the idea to make salad dressing, I was reading about people who had been successful, thinking about ways I could adapt their experiences to my own. Some of the books you will read now will become your touch points later on. There are books I read for the first time in my 20s that I return to each year to conduct my own self-check. Am I still following the path this book taught me? Am I still true to the mission I envisioned for myself? Am I inspired by these greats? Reading becomes a revising of the path I'm on and the vision I've set for myself. I'll tell you, a guy in my YPO group said something really funny. He goes, "You're the most well-read dude I know that probably only started reading books a couple years ago."
God damn.
But it's true. He goes, "Did you read a book, really read a book before you graduated college?" I said, "Nah,
Man,
I really didn't.
me either.
I started after." And he goes, and that's what's so shocking. And I think that's an interesting example for anybody. And this is with anything in life. Just start today.
I was just watching the on Instagram, and the guy said, "When is the best time to plant a tree?" It was 25 years ago.
Right.
He said, "When is the next best time to plant a tree?" He said, "Right now."
Yeah. Today.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting, going off of just what you just said.
Well, and I think that example is what freezes it freezes people.
Because they think they're too late. Like, oh, I should have been there.
Man, I should have started this business 25 years ago. You're right. You should have. You could also start it today. And when I hear people, I'm going to start my diet on January 1st. I'm going to quit this thing on Monday. I'm going to do this thing on this date. Or you could just start now, today, this very second. Because if not now, when? And the other thing of this, the precious present and the power of now, goes back to the morning. If you don't work out in the morning, all you're doing is creating the probability that you are not going to work out in the afternoon because life happens. And so when I hear, oh, I'm not a morning person, I'm not this, I'm not that, become one. Have that time to read. Have that time to work out. Have that time to do all the things that we all know aren't happening at 3:00 in the afternoon or 5 or 7, because you don't know what the day is going to bring. And it's most likely going to bring the thunder.
Right. Yeah, I usually try to get up and go out in the morning just for a light jog. I was running, like last month was the most miles I did in a month, which was like 80.
That's good.
Yeah. But I fluctuate around 50 miles a month. And I just started getting there probably maybe around about September,
Yeah.
August. I just started getting there. This month I told myself I wasn't going to do 80 miles. And the way I did 80 miles was I just told myself at the minimum every day, I need to run 1 mile. If I don't do anything else, I need to run at least 1 mile. And if I don't feel like running no more after that 1 mile, I can either stop right where I'm at and walk back home, or at least run back home.
Dude.
You know what I'm saying? But most of the time, after I do that 1 mile, I'll be in it. I'll be like, I'm gonna just keep on going. I keep looking at I look at my watch and say, okay, I can go a little bit more. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's life too.
And then once you get on your way back home, you get like a second burst of energy because you're running back home.
Right. Yeah, I make sure that when I'm running, I can't pass easy quit points, you know?
Huh.
And so you need to go out however far you want because you know you're going to have to come back.
Yeah.
But if you're doing little loops and the house is there or a coffee shop's there or there's a distraction there, you know.
You can just stop.
You know,
and be
you
like,
know.
okay, yeah, but if you run like far away from the house, because sometimes in my mind I'm like, God, I gotta run all the way back. And then you don't want to walk because it's going to take too long. So you wind up running back.
Well, and I also think that's a great reason audiobooks are so wonderful. It's like, just press play. And I do all of the things. So I buy the physical hard copy. I get the audiobook. I don't like the Kindle version on my phone because it's just too distracting. People are calling, people are texting. I don't personally like that.
You got to get just the Kindle pad.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm going to get my daughter one of those for Christmas.
They're great visually. That's just another thing I got to carry.
Yeah.
You know, I have a couple books on this that I recommend reading to start.
On what?
It Worked for Me in Life and Leadership by Colin Powell. The reason I like this as it applies to this theory of why should I read, this is advice from a dude that just did so much in his life. And it's just such a great example of getting a deeper understanding of a great leader in a book. You're not getting it anywhere else. You've heard of Colin Powell. We've seen his face. We know what he looks like. But it's like you get into his books and you're like, this dude is elite. It's a great example.
Who was the guy that made up that one book that you gave me to read? Make Your Bed in the Morning?
Make Your Bed.
Yeah.
Admiral McRaven.
Yeah.
He was a Navy SEAL. And that book was inspired by his University of Texas graduation speech. He was the keynote speaker at University of Texas's graduation. And he laid out, if you want to change the world, make your bed. And then it was such a viral sensation that he then wrote a book.
I thought that was a cool story, a cool book. And one thing from that book that sticks with me was Sugar Cookie. When he told the one dude, he told him, like, get up out your bed, go down there, get in the water, and then roll around in the sand, and then come back.
Yeah.
And he was like, I didn't even do anything. He said, I don't care.
Yeah.
He said, just do it. And then the guy said he was thinking about it all day, and I think he went and asked him, like, why'd you make me do that? He said, life's not fair. Sometimes you're going to be a sugar cookie. And you did everything right, and you're still just going to have a shitty end of the stick.
How true is that in life?
I thought that's from that book, that's the one thing that sticks with me was the sugar cookie thing.
Yeah. Another great book, and it's hard to find. I bought mine, I think it was on eBay. It's called Pushing Up People by Art Williams. And it was an unbelievable journey of this guy that was a high school football coach who then turned to selling insurance and then built one of the largest insurance brokerages in the country and ended up being a bajillionaire. And his whole thing and the reason he was so successful is he believed in pushing up people, getting the most out of them. And so I remember reading it. I was probably 23. It totally changed my perspective of what leaders should be. They're not yellers. It's not demanding things from people. It's finding ways to push them up to get the most out of them. Phenomenal book. Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. Great book. Another wonderful story of a guy's journey from nothing. You could even say less than nothing, morbidly obese, working for a pest control service, depressed, hating his life, and then becoming a Navy SEAL. Now he's an author, he's a motivational speaker, everything else.
Yeah, David Goggins goes hard.
Dude, he goes super hard. Probably too hard, but that's okay. Everybody's got their own energy and
He
vibe.
run like 100 miles.
Well, the one where I'm like, you may be going a little too hard is he keeps recordings of voicemails of his haters, and then he'll read the hate mail he gets, and then he pumps it through his house like death metal music. He just listens to it, where people are like, you fucking worthless piece of shit. And he's just like, that's what he listens to in his house. I'm like, damn, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the opposite of positive affirmations, my guy.
That
You're getting a
book was
little
good.
dark.
That book was good, though. That
Great book.
Yeah.
I Have Make Your Bed. Admiral McRaven. And again, sugar cookie. If you want to change the world, make your bed. And this comes back to my belief system of how you do something's how you do everything. And you need the little wins. And if you can own the little wins, then, you know, that's the stuff you can control. So I love that stuff. Quotes that resonate. Not all readers are leaders, but all leaders are readers. Harry S. Truman. Don't just read the easy stuff. You may be entertained by it, but you'll never grow from it. Jim Rohn. A man only learns in two ways. One by reading, and the other by association with smarter people. Will Rogers. And again, I think you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. But why wouldn't you, in today's age with access to unlimited information, try and get the most out of yourself? You know, why wouldn't you do that?
Why wouldn't you? Unless you just don't feel like doing anything.
Oh, I think that happens a lot.
I always feel like doing something.
Next one. I was speaking at St. John's the other day, and someone said, how do you make decisions? Do you use your gut? Do you use data? What do you do? And my answer is primarily my gut. And the reason is because anytime I've gone counter to my gut and I've tried to overanalyze it with my brain or my heart, and I've tried to ignore my gut, I'm wrong 100% of the time. 100% of the time, I'm wrong.
When you go against your gut.
When I go against my gut.
So how long did it take you to just like, okay, I'm gonna go with my gut? Like how
Years.
many mistakes was it? Like Yeah, I know last time I didn't go with my gut, but I feel different this time. I think I'm going to go with what I'm thinking.
Well, I think the biggest problem is when you're young and you surround yourself with older, more wise, more successful people, and they're running in complete contradiction to your gut. And they're telling you, sit down, little boy, which was told to me 100 times. You're like, okay, maybe my gut's wrong. I mean, what the fuck do I know?
Right. You want the older people to be
I'm
right?
fucking 25 or I'm 30. Like, this dude has done it. He's probably seen it. My gut doesn't know everything. Unfortunately, in that situation and scenario, my gut did know a lot, and I was ignoring it.
Right.
So the field guide, the biggest mistake I made as an entrepreneur was not trusting my gut. When I look back on the most catastrophic missteps and moments where we trusted the wrong people, I remember how it felt. It was like a fire alarm going off in my gut, but I hadn't learned to trust that internal messaging. Your gut is your best advisor. It's a more reliable source than any internet site or consultant. But leaning in to trust your gut takes effort. It is not a natural thing. Most people, by the time they get around to founding a company, have spent a lifetime learning to ignore their inner impulses and trust research and expert advice. When you're an entrepreneur, lots of people will tell you to trust the experts. They'll want to sell you their expert advice and try to get you to fit into an existing paradigm. That's just a recipe for conformity. Instead, set your own metrics. I know there are 4 things money can't buy: your health, your soul, your time, and your children's love. Your instinct is going to point towards your own best metrics, the things you really value. Experts won't stick up for your personal metrics. They have their own agenda. It's up to you to know when your gut is sending you up a signal. Trusting your gut instinct doesn't mean you act on impulse. Maybe you still need to ask questions to get clarity, but you know the right answer. A gut instinct isn't an emotion you should tamp down. It's your core self trying to tell you something. Get the information you need to find out if that something is correct. So going back to the gut side, a good book to read on that is Blink by Malcolm Gladwell. He basically analyzes all these moments where everybody's gut instincts were correct, and then their brain forced them to do the wrong thing or analyze it incorrectly. It's really interesting. And then a book by Ryan Holiday, Stillness is the Key. And what that whole book is about is just the discipline of finding silence and stillness, because I think in the silence, you have the answers. But what we do is we wake up late, we check our phone, we get our kids off to school, and you're just immediately stepping in to a fight in the octagon. There's no preparation at all.
Right.
There's no visualization. There's no hydration, nutrition, warming up. There's nothing. You just, I'm going to sleep as long as I can possibly sleep because my body needs it, or at least that's how we justify it. And then the next thing you know, you're just in the thick of it. So finding stillness, I think, is super important in listening to your gut. Blink will give you a bunch of amazing data points on how your gut is right and how it's a really, really important part of our evolution. There was a book called The Second Brain, which basically analyzed the gut's ability to understand danger and send signals. But unlike the brain, there's no capacity for speech out of your gut. So it just sends signals.
I was watching a horror film or horror series film on Amazon.
Hate scary movies.
And
I hate them.
I just felt in my gut when these scary parts were ready to happen. Just made my stomach like tremble a little bit. I was like, so I know what you're talking
I
about
want
there.
none of that.
Yeah, you don't like horror films.
Hell no.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm a horror film fanatic, but I will watch it.
You can't pay me. That shit gets burned into my soul.
I remember we went to the movies to go see that. I think it was the NASCAR or the F1 film, and a horror movie trailer came up, and you just looking away.
Yeah, I'm like, I close my ears and close my eyes. I'm like, fuck this.
Sev was into it though.
No, I don't. I'm not into any of that shit.
How about when people take too long to come up, or I guess to come up with an answer or to pick a solution to a problem? What do they call that? Paralysis.
Analysis paralysis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does that work with listening to your gut?
All that is you're ignoring your gut. That's what that is. Because again, I think we have the answers. We're too scared to say them because we don't want the future that answer gives us. So it's like, you know what to do, and you just are too scared to have to deal with it.
That goes back to like those hard conversations.
Mm-hmm.
So how can someone get used to, or yes, how can someone build up that muscle to get used or feel comfortable with having those hard conversations? Because I think that's what a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, I don't know. I know sometimes I have to talk myself into like, okay, let me make this call. And I always say, okay, I got to have a hard conversation.
There's a couple. One, there's a book called Fierce Conversations that's a template to have tough conversations. So you could follow that template until you get good at it. The other is there's a quote, if you're going to eat a frog, it's best to do it first thing in the morning. So the rest of your day is better than having to eat a frog. I try and get a lot of tough stuff done in the morning or first thing. I don't like to delay. The other key on having tough conversations is first write it out, because nothing is weaker than having a tough conversation and bumbling through it.
Well, I kind of what I'm trying to say is this work is kind of good, but not what.
It's just like, fucking get it out, man. If you care about the person and this is critical feedback that needs to happen, frame it accordingly. Are you ready for some critical feedback? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, here it is.
Right.
My daughter the other day was playing in a tournament and they got fucking rolled in this one game. Nobody played well. It was the first game of the day. I think the start time was like 7 a.m. We were up early. And she came off the field and she was like, man, I played great. And I gave her a little look. And she goes, what? And I go, have I ever lied to you? She goes, no. I go, do you want the truth? She's like, yeah, I do. You didn't play great. She's like, well, what didn't I do well? I'm like, this, and this. You were not locked in on the drive up like you normally are. You were not focused during warm-ups. You got another game in 45 minutes. I would strongly suggest that you do some inner reflection and lock in for the next game. And she goes, okay, but she, she was giving me a little bit of shit. Like, I don't think you're right. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But then I saw her warm up and she was dialed in, had the face of a warrior on, was just getting it in the warm up. And I'm like, this girl's about to go off. And she did. She played awesome. She probably would not have played awesome in the next game if a tough conversation didn't happen. And so the muscle of tough conversations begins with how you frame it. If you're trying to be everybody's friend all the time, being nice all the time and not being truthful, that's not a good friend.
Right.
Like if you were sitting here right now and we're filming and you had a booger coming out of your nose and a giant piece of spinach on your tooth, and I let you do that for 1 hour so you look like a fucking asshole, that's a bad friend.
Right. Like you seen that. You could have said something.
Right. But nobody wants to have that awkward conversation with somebody. I don't want to hurt their feelings. My feelings are more hurt that you let me look like a fool for 1 hour that I can't edit out.
Yeah.
You know?
That'd be terrible.
It would be terrible. But the tough conversation thing comes down to you being courageous in your own soul. And again, people like, I'm not saying go create unnecessary conflict, but I am saying let's address the elephant in the room. And if you think that I'm a good person and I'm acting out of love and good intentions, then nothing I can say should offend you. It can kind of hurt your feelings because you're like, fuck, man, I don't feel good about myself. Maybe he's right. Maybe he's not. And this actually kind of happens with my kids when somebody says something insulting to them and they get really upset. Because you go, sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt me. We all know that's not true.
Yeah,
and
sometimes words hurt.
They hurt. But what I say to them is, do they hurt because a part of it is true? And every time they go, yeah. And I'm like, can you control what they're saying? Right? If someone says you're ugly, well, it's not true. That shouldn't hurt you at all because you're not fucking ugly. But if they say your breath stinks, okay. Did your breath stink? Did you brush your teeth this morning?
Yeah, did you brush?
Like, I mean, we're dealing with kids, so it's like, I'm happy that they shower.
I'm in the same boat right there. I'm like, did you brush your teeth?
Right. How is this optional? You bring it up every day. How is it freaking optional?
Once they get that one friend, because I just tell my daughter, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just let your friends take care of it.
Oh. Well, and it is funnier the older they get. So-and-so came into school and really stunk. Like, well, did you tell him? No, I didn't want to hurt his feelings. I'm like, dude, if someone stinks, you got to be like, yo, hey, I think you
we used to get them.
Oh, well, I know. That's
if
why
you come in school slacking,
dude.
We were on it,
son,
and everybody got it. It
that
don't
is
matter
why
who you were.
I am so fucking tough.
It didn't matter who you were.
Middle school, Bates Middle, dudes coming at you. Would your fucking
Bates.
mom dress you, bitch?
Bates.
Well, not wearing that outfit again.
They used to always get on me when I was in elementary school because I used to wear, you don't remember the socks, the Patty Boys?
Oh, I know the
It was
Patty
the socks
Boys.
with the colors around
Hell yeah. God, the little shit that people used to come at. Oh, my Lord.
My boy Dern. I remember I was in high school one day and I didn't have no more clean jeans. So I wore overall
No.
with no shirt on
Shut
underneath
the
of it, and I
fuck
just
up.
put a shirt over top just so I could have it. And
No,
I
you did not.
I don't know what I did. And I lifted my shirt came up and I didn't have like no shirt. I just had on the overall.
No.
And Darren said, bitch.
Dude,
He said, "But you got on overalls."
that is funny, man.
Hey, I laugh at that. He still laughs at that today, man.
Well, that's hilarious.
It was hilarious.
The
Sometimes I got away with it, but not that day.
The only time I wore overalls to elementary school was when crisscross was at its peak, and I wore those backwards like they did.
And you had to go bathroom?
Dude, I'm in that bathroom fighting for my life.
Dog, I used to wear my clothes frontwards when I left out the house
And switch it.
because I tried to go out the house with them on backwards, and my grandmother and my uncle was like,
No.
"What are you doing?"
Right. How you get right?
So I would get to school, go in the bathroom, turn my clothes around backwards, and then come back out.
Hell yeah.
And then before I went home, I'd turn them back around.
Dude, those are the good old days. Those were the good old days.
That's when you had the Looney Tunes shirt with Tasmanian Devil and Bugs Bunny with the hat around backwards.
I had all that.
Yeah. Classics.
Next section. So that was section 1. Section 2, jumping in, building the plane as you fly it. Themes of this section include getting started, testing ideas, and quitting your day job. What is my first step? Get on the field and battle test your idea. I did this by getting my mom to make a batch of her famous salad dressing, and then I cold called all the Whole Food stores in my area until I found someone willing to try the product. Whatever your idea may be, you need to know how it will be received outside of your inner circle of friends and family. You can't fund a professional focus group, most likely, so you'll need to figure out how to get your product in front of potential customers and gauge their reactions. Taking action is critical. No one is going to believe in you until you get out and do it. I knew I was coming off as a stubborn dream chaser. I also knew that my idea may be very dumb. And I was cool with this as an outcome. If you want to create something big, you have to be willing to take that risk. This is the moment in which you separate yourself from the dreamers who will never be successful in reality. Most people never take their ideas to the logical end because they're afraid of being an embarrassing failure. Your first step is deciding, are you a dreamer or a doer? A great book is Simply Pour Your Heart Into It by Howard Schultz, of how...
Never read that one.
You should have. It was in the Tessemae's library, but it was about how Howard Schultz started Starbucks.
Okay. See, I don't know who Howard Schultz. I know who Starbucks is.
But it's a great story. It's probably one of the best. Because at every step in the beginning, he was told this is stupid. So he was working for a coffee equipment company. This one group out in Seattle was buying all of this equipment. He wanted to see what was going on. It was Starbucks in that Pike Place market, the famous place.
I got a picture there. I went there.
Yeah.
When we were selling salad dressing in Seattle.
Yes.
And I went out just by myself and just took pictures around. And
Yep.
I went to the first Starbucks.
Yeah, me too. And so then he got a job there. He went to a coffee convention in Italy, and he experienced Italian coffee shops for the first time. Espresso and lattes and all this wild shit. So he comes back and he goes, the latte. They go, we sell beans and equipment to brew your own coffee. We don't make coffee drinks. He's like, the future is the latte. When people try the latte, they're going to buy more beans and equipment to brew at home. And they go, no. He goes, let me set up a little corner in this shop, and I'm just going to start selling lattes out of here, right? He was their VP of sales or something. And he goes, and it's going to sell more stuff. I'm telling you. And they go, all right, test it out. So he starts hustling lattes, and the line is out the door. Every morning, just lattes, espresso, boom, boom, boom. And he's like, this is it. This is the future. And they go, nah, we're good. He's like, what do you mean you're good? I just literally, we're going to bring the latte to America. It's here. And they go, no. So then he started a series of Italian coffee shops where everything was in Italian. He's like, which in retrospect was pretty stupid because no one could speak Italian or read it. But that was the beginning of Starbucks. And he went out on a limb and was like, I'm doing the latte come hell or high water. He just knew. He didn't care if he lost his job. He just knew it was right. And he was willing to look like a failure and even take the risk to go out on his own. And I think when you're an entrepreneur trying to do something, or you're anybody trying to do something, you could take this to athletics as well. Everyone's going to tell you for the most part, you're not good enough. You know, I went to a D3 college and I thought I was good enough to play professionally. Do you know how many people in the world thought I was good enough to play professionally?
You.
Me. I was the only one.
Yeah.
Genevieve's kind of looking at me like, bitch. My brothers are like, I don't know, dude. Yeah, you were good at Washington College, but I don't know if you've got it. And I went to an open tryout. Well, initially I got drafted. I didn't make the team. I was on like the practice team for a little bit, and then they released me. But going to the tryout, I'm like, I'm better than some of these guys.
That were already on the team.
They're already on the team. Now, maybe I wasn't so good that they're going to cut a dude that's starting for them, and I'm just a waste of their time. But then there was an open tryout for the Bayhawks. I went to it. I made it. And then I started for half the season. And I'm like, this is insane. I was the only one that thought I was good enough to do this.
And you went and did it.
And I went and did it. And it doesn't always work out like that. But what I try and recommend to people is you're going to at least know where you stand. You're going to have the truth. You don't have to live your in your brain going like Uncle Rico.
If they had just put me in, man, bet I can throw this football over the mountains.
You don't have to live like that. And I'll
Right.
tell you what, I don't want to live like that.
Right. Just know, like, I should have tried.
Yeah.
I should have. Well, I did try. I didn't make it.
Yeah.
There you go. Now you can move on.
Well, and there's clarity. There's clarity of like, you know what? I'm not as good as I thought I was. At least you know where you stand. And that to me, right? They always say depression is tied to the past. Anxiety is fear of the unknown, right? So the future.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of depression is tied to stuff from the past.
Stuff that you already done.
That already, right?
Or
Regret,
things that you didn't
guilt. It probably is tied to guilt and regret that has compounded on itself for too long. If you think about it. Where you
And
just
just
got
keep
this
thinking about it,
dark
like,
cloud over your head.
Right.
And it just will not stop raining on you.
I think that's where gray hairs come from.
Gray hair stress. We're burning the hairs from the inside
Yeah.
out through fucking cortisol levels.
I be telling, I call my friends every time I find a gray hair. I be like, God, I laugh all the time. I don't know where this gray hair coming from.
Oxidative stress, baby.
Like, I feel as though I don't even let myself become stressed. I just laugh. That's all I want to do.
I got a couple breathing exercises for you that are going to switch those grays back to black.
Okay. Pass them my way.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. So going back to this topic, what is my first step? It's getting on the field and battle testing your idea, and then having the audacity and the courage to go for it. Couple good quotes. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great.
That's a good one.
Zig Ziglar. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. Arthur Ashe. The best way to predict the future is to create it, which we've all heard. Peter Drucker. And then there's a bunch of habit creating situations in this field guide.
Yeah, you said something like that at St. John's on, what was that, Tuesday?
Yeah.
When you told the guys who wanted to get in business, you was like, either go work for somebody or just start one of your ideas.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Are you ever going to learn more than actually doing something?
That's when you learn the best is when you just start it and just do it. And then you're like, oh, okay, well, I can't do it that way.
Yeah. Strategic improvisation. And I don't know what the deal is. I don't know why everybody's so scared to start. Again, what's the worst that can happen? You're not going to fucking die.
Yeah. My uncle used to say, said my grandfather used to say to him, first you get the test and then you get the lesson.
Yep. Well, I don't know how many lessons I'm about to get because I've had the fucking test now.
Yeah, that's
for a little longer than I had asked for.
Yeah, first you get the test, then you get the lesson.
Yeah,
and that's life.
I think it was Limp Bizkit.
Oh,
going
taking
back.
it back. Okay.
I think the song was "I Did It All for the Nookie."
I remember that song. Say the hook. What's the hook?
I did it all for the nookie, the what, the nookie, the what.
I do remember that song.
But then I think there was a line in it that he said, life is a learning lesson. You learn it when you're through. Or something like that.
We had to look it up.
And I always thought about that. I'm like, there have never been truer words spoken.
They always dropping gems in songs.
Hell yeah. So, well, I think that this has been good. Do you have any questions on this stuff anymore before we wrap this sucker up?
I don't know. Just all these little
they're ladybugs.
Oh, okay.
We have like a ladybug infestation right now.
Let's see.
I walked out on a barn or by the barn the other day. There was like 10,000 of them. I thought I was on crazy pills.
As our boy, who said it? I don't know who said it, but I heard it on one of these shows. He said, "And this too shall pass."
This too shall pass. I mean, that's true.
This will be a speck on your calendar of life.
I actually also saw something, and I think it was a comedian. I think it was we were talking about Jimmy Carr.
Yeah, you just said something.
Yeah, and he said everybody in the United States has life dysmorphia, like body dysmorphia, when you're like, you're beautiful and you're jacked and you look at yourself and you're ugly and a fat piece of shit. And he was like, we all are so unappreciative of our lives. We have life dysmorphia. He goes, because in 25 years from today, in 25 years, if you could give every material possession, every dollar that you had to be as healthy and young as you are right now, you would do it in 25 years. And I thought about that and I'm like, that's probably true. But right now, you're fucking bitching about the wireless and the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth isn't connecting and you got to drive your kids here and there and here and there.
You're going to miss that time
Hell
driving
yeah.
your kids.
Well, I love that. I love driving my kids. You will never hear me complain about that.
You know, I started thinking about that, not to get off track, was when I was working in Wildwood, New Jersey,
Okay.
at the airbrush booth on Moray's Pier.
Damn, dude. Let's go.
I was out there, and it was like we had people come from. We had like this little apartment with multiple small bedrooms in it, and I was working for this guy. I can't even remember the name of the company, but I ran the RIP Six Flags. I ran the airbrush booth at Six Flags.
Let's go.
And then they said, "Hey Mo, we want to send you out New Jersey at Wildwood, and we want you to run the airbrush booth at Moray's Pier." And I was up there. I think it started like right in the beginning of the summer, so it probably was like maybe early June, late May. It was no one on the pier. It was just like I'm going out there to work. It wasn't nobody. I was so bored. But then it started to jump off. I mean, but I still kind of really hated it. But in an apartment, it was like they had people come from Jamaica who came over to work for like the summer.
Jamaica.
Back then I had my dreads. So I was getting like the official retwisting of my dreads, you know? So, yo, they twisted my dreads so tight I had to take Tylenol. My head was hurting. But nevertheless, though, when I was there, I even brought a dog because I was like, my dad came up and seen me. But when I was there, I was like, oh, man, I really don't like it. So I wound up like leaving like towards like the end of July. But then I found myself years, or maybe about a year or two after, I was like, God dang, man, I really had fun up there. But when I was in, I was like, man, I don't want to be up here. I don't like this.
Yeah.
But I kind of missed it once it was over. Once when I reflected back on it, I was like, God damn, I did have some good times up there. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was right then and there. And I kind of missed it a little bit.
Well, you always say it's just something else to get used to.
Oh yeah, that's my father line. Just something to get used to.
Right. I think you always used to say that in Tessemae when good things would happen, bad things would happen, whatever, you would say that. And it's interesting because if you actually look at these paradigm shifting moments in our lives, when we're so scared, it's just something else to get used to.
Yep.
Because you can get used to it. You can. Now, I'm not saying just suffer for no reason and don't fix the problem, but the burden that you are carrying is probably just going to make you stronger.
Yep. And I think about that sometimes when I say it's just something to get used to. Like, if you're down in the valley and you kind of use that, it's just something to get used to. I'm like, I really don't want to get used to this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know
Rock
what I'm
bottom.
saying? Yeah. But then my father always says, slow motion better than no motion.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying.
Yeah. So those is he got 3 good ones, which is, hey, there ain't nothing but something to get used to.
Yep.
Slow motion better than no motion.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you just, you on your grind, you just doing your thing, he hit you with it. Hey, anything else uncivilized. This is what you're supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So, and I always repeat at least those 3. I got those ingrained.
Yes.
And my father used to always tell me when I was young, he hit me with, hey, you the man, and don't let nobody else tell you different, yeah?
All of these are true.
Yep.
They are universal truths. Your dad's a wonderful dude.
Yep. So I always remember that. Every time I get down on myself, I'll just listen to like, hey, you the man, don't let nobody else tell you different.
Yep.
Yeah, you just keep on rolling.
Yep. And it is kind of a great personal affirmation situation where it's like saying you're a good man.
Yep. And I believe in those affirmations too, because I think in one of the, my father gave me a book. In the book, it was what was it? I think it was the Muslim prayer book, but they got one prayer in there, and one section of this prayer, which went, It was and I like this one section that said, "Guide me on the right path, on the path of those who bestow favors, and not on the path of those who go astray." So I always say at least that part, and I always find myself just saying that part because I believe where I'm at now, like that affirmation for me is what I kind of go on. Always that guide me on the right path, on the path of those, on the path of those who bestow favors, and not on the path of those who go astray.
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of done me good so far.
Well, I think we should end with that. That's magnificent. This is the Greg Vetter podcast. We're going over my new book. Mo Taylor is in the house, bringing knowledge, and we will talk to everybody next time.
Dropping seeds.
Dropping seeds.
Peace.